This is going to be a very quick update because, first of all, I am sick and I want nothing more than to go inside and take a nap because I just got off of work. I'm 40% of the way through Morning Glory Milking Farm. I actually really like it. Outside of like the nature of what the book is, it's actually pretty good. Mostly because I feel like the author definitely worked in like some sort of customer service or like serving industry job. Because the way she talks about, just the way like she talks about the job and the way she even talks about, you know, when Violet, the main character, goes into a coffee shop, it feels very real. It feels very much like a lived experience, which is nice. My one gripe about the book, which I feel like I've gotten used to it by now, or I've kind of worked around it, she would start paragraphs by just saying she in reference to the main character, but it would happen after like another female character had just gotten done talking, so I had to kind of readjust because I thought like it was still referencing the previous character, but it's not, it was referencing the main character. Also, my job has started like a little free library, which was nice because I got to get rid of some books that I didn't really know what to do with because I either like wrote in them or I accidentally put my stamp in them or something. So I Sharpied out my stamp, and ones are written in, they're written in. But I also, my friend brought a couple of books. She didn't put this in the free library because she wasn't sure how demographic of our area would take it, but I did take this from her pile. It's just a little cutesy novella, it looks like. I don't have any plans to read it soon, but it might be a good like palate cleanser for the future because it's pretty short. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Today's the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna make a chicken buffalo dip, but I think I'm gonna lay down for a while. Yeah, illness is just like kicking my ass. But yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
How bad is it? Bad. You get like a bowl and just fill it with ice. No, not ice.
So I'm finally at a point where I'm not super sick. I am still coughing sometimes, but I no longer feel like shit and just want to sleep. So I finished Morning Glory Milking Farm. It was good. It definitely did its job. I can definitely focus more on other books now. I'm reading Serpent like a chapter at a time, but that's something. Definitely don't know what I was expecting with Morning Glory. God. Like obviously I knew what to expect in certain ways, but there was no like real conflict to the book. I wish my voice wouldn't crack so much. There was no like real conflict to the book. Not really. I mean, like her biggest struggle is just her needing a job in her field and make money, which like, okay, relatable, but also like that's pretty much it. Like I really thought there was gonna be a point where like it'd be like an HR thing with her seeing a client or something, but no, not really. It seemed like the whole thing was just like their like big point of the book was like them finally having sex, but like we all knew that was gonna happen no matter what. Also, there was a lot of back and forth in terms of the timeline with very minimal transition in between the back and forth. There'd be a chapter would start off and like Violet is like doing something in the present time, and then she starts talking about what happened like a few days ago, and then it jumps back to the present time. And that happened a lot, especially in like the latter half of the book. And it's not bad to do that every now and then, but it was like almost every chapter was like that in the second half. And it's like, I feel like it made the scenes that were within it kind of less impactful. Like whenever she talks about their first kiss, like it happens in a flashback instead of it like being built up and happening in like the present. you know, and I felt like that was kind of a big thing. But that's just me, I guess. But yeah, I was like genuinely just waiting for like something like bad to happen, I guess. Some sort of like struggle they have to overcome. So much so to the point where like the book ended and I was like, that's it. Like, okay, happily ever after. Which, again, it's not a bad thing, but it was just kind of unexpected, I guess. It was like doing all these things, she does her interview, the interview goes great, I guess. We don't see the interview happen. Things are great with work, she's looking at a new place, and then sneak peek to the next book. Okay, I don't know if I'll read the next book. I know it's like told from Rourke's point of view. Maybe, if the necessity rises, but I don't know. It was a good time, but I'm done with it. Now, like, I really want to pick up something and, like, start reading it. I'm gonna try to read a chapter of Serpent in the Wings of Night when I hit stop, but I, like, want to read books that I don't already own, which is not good. Like, I want to get into Robin Hobb books. I've been seeing them a lot lately, and they look like very good high fantasy time. I don't know, on Twitter I've just been seeing people like recommend a lot of books that I'm like bookmarking, and I don't know, I want to read stuff, and I want to read stuff that I don't already have, but I still need to get into this stupid wrapped up TBR. It's not stupid, but then like I think about that and I think about like, oh, I should read Vengeful, because okay, I thought the Vicious series was a duology because I looked it up, because at my Barnes & Noble they only had the box set, and I was like, I don't want to get the box set if there's a third book. So I looked it up and I saw somewhere, which apparently this was not real, this was misinformation, I saw somewhere that like Victorious, I think the third one's gonna be called, she like took what she was going to put in Victorious and kind of combined it into Vengeful, so it was just a duology. But then I go on Schwab's Instagram and she's like, getting started on the last villain's book. Huh? So now I just have a fucking box set of 2 books that is a trilogy? I hate that. I've said it so many times, I'm the biggest pet peeve. I don't like my books not being matchy-matchy. It sucks. Storming all the way through the Red Queen series definitely fatigued me, and that's definitely why I needed like a good palate cleanser before jumping into another fantasy or just another book that, I don't know, requires more focus. Yeah, I feel like with Morning Glory, like I could kind of like skim over certain parts. Not that I'm condoning that, you should read, but also like, it's Morning Glory milking farm and you milk centaurs for their stuff. What can I say on YouTube? I'm not monetized yet. You're milking the centaurs, you know? There's not a whole lot of like intellectual stimulation going on here. There's other types of stimulation. But like now, like I want to get into a world, I want to get into something, like sink my teeth into a story. So I want to keep reading this vampire book. I have heard that some of the books later in the series are not that good, but I'll come to my own conclusions on that. Also, in terms of like getting palate cleanser books, I have thought about getting the 3rd book in the Inheritance game series. I have the first 2, I've read them, and I've read them both pretty fast. They're like really easy, like quick reads, I feel like. A certain plot line in the 2nd book kind of irked me and gave me the ick. Not that the plotline itself gave me the ick, it's the fact that certain other characters didn't react to the plotline the way I feel like they should have. Actually, I don't think they reacted to it at all. More importantly, the main character did not react to it in an appropriate way. I don't know how much to say without like spoiling it, but there is a question of parentage. Not necessarily by blood, but still, you know, familial ties are questioned. And there's a love triangle in the book, and at no point does she wonder to herself like, hey, if this ends up being true, I could technically be related to these guys, not by blood, once again, but still. And nope, it's not even like a concern on her mind. It never gets brought up as an issue. If anything, like, the only thing she's upset about is the fact that she, like, got lied to about her parentage. Yeah, but I didn't buy the final Gambit, the last book, or I guess it's the last book, I don't know, because I was waiting for it to come out on paperback, and then time went on and I was like, I don't really feel like reading it, but it is a quick read, so I'm keeping that in mind. I don't know if I'll read the Brothers Hawthorne, I think that's it. I think it's like a prequel or something, but it's about just the brothers, but I'm not super interested in them, to be honest. Once again, whenever there's a love triangle, the one that I want to win, the one I'm rooting for, almost never gets it. So at the end of the second book happened, she chose, and I was like, ugh, sure, if you're happy, I guess. Yeah, I just got off of work. Work's fine. Being employed once again is fine. I do miss not working, unfortunately. But I'm going to laze about for like an hour and then like get some work done probably. Probably play some Love in Deep Space, which I've been playing it for about a month now. And it has unfortunately bled into my real life in unexpected ways.
No, don't take a picture of it. What the fuck is this? No, why the fuck is this in my TO? Look, 1.2 million likes? Holy shit.
Live from a new angle, a wide angle. I'm a very soft-spoken person in general. Very shy, very socially anxious, very aware of myself at all times. And so recording myself when everyone else is home is very difficult because I'm very aware that they can hear me talking to myself, even though they know that I vlog and they don't care. But I came across the issue with my last vlog where it was kind of hard to hear me in some videos. My voice was just very soft, and I could up the volume on some of them just fine, but other ones it picked up a lot of background noise, so I just kind of left it, and that makes for very uneven audio levels, I suppose. So this is my way to combat it, and I wish I had come up with it sooner. But I was just watching a couple vlogging channels I like, and some of them use their phone and just add in the audio, and I was like, that's actually pretty smart. Also, excuse the fit. I did just come back from the gym. I meant to film this outro yesterday, and I meant to film it the day before yesterday, and neither of those times happened. It was very much cuter outfits yesterday and the day before, but today's a Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. Mondays are when we get our week started and get a lot of planning and errands done. And I don't want this video to still be ongoing when the new week starts. Obviously, I'll have to edit it and all that jazz, but I'll officially be done recording. It's been a weird couple of weeks. It's been a strange February, I'd say. Not even for really anything big that's happened. Just like a lot of like little small things have happened. And I feel like the biggest one was like me getting sick really threw off my whole thing. As it does to everyone, I suppose. Going back to work, I guess has had an effect on that as well. The job I have is very easy. That's why I was willing to go back to it. But it is different than the store I was at before. Not in a bad way. And it's not like it's hard for me to adjust. I have definitely worked in much more fast-paced and stressful environments. Change never comes easy, no matter how big or small. So that's why there hasn't been much recorded, and why I've just finally decided, you know what, this vlog is just gonna be very short, and we'll try again in the next one. To kind of catch you up on my reading journey and whatnot, I have taken a break from Serpent in the Wings of Night. I'm just going to keep calling it the vampire book, because saying that entire title it's too damn long. As you saw, I delved into my wrap-up, my TBR. Very proud of myself. I started reading The Night Circus. It's in my bag in the other room, so I am not going to get it right now. I started reading the book back in 2017 when I was at like an actual university. I checked it out from the library because a friend had read it and she said it changed her life. And I read like the first couple of chapters, and then, I don't know, I just got distracted. Or maybe I just like, I didn't not like the book. I don't know. It was college. I read a lot of books from the library. I don't remember all of them, to be honest. Always meant to come back to it, and I bought it from Half Price Books like maybe like a year later, maybe 2 years later, probably a year later, and it sat on my shelf, as so many books on my TBR have. So I'm glad that it was the first one. Also, I said before that, or I think I've mentioned this before, but we implemented a little like free library at my job, and I showed you the one that my friend gave me. I got 2 more. I got this book. I think it's a YA book. It's called I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang. See it here, maybe. The synopsis of it is that the main character is like valedictorian on top of like her grades and her like extracurriculars and everything. And the way she's able to like balance all of it and not go crazy is that she writes emails basically saying how she really feels to certain people, but doesn't send them. They sit in her drafts. And then one day, all of the emails get sent out to these people. Very, to all the boys I loved before. But I think it's a very interesting premise, and I'd love to see how that plays out. And I would love to know what she writes about these people. I also got a bit of a classic. I got Shatter Me. I'm going to look up the pronunciation of the author's name really quickly. Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. This is kind of a classic in YA areas, I suppose. I feel like everyone who is like, all of like the old like booktube, bookstagram, content creators I followed back in the day, everyone had read this, This is kind of like up there with like, the pretty popular YA books. And I had always like heard mixed things on it. Not that it's bad. And I do think I need to stop listening to people's opinions and not let it affect how I go into a book. But the people who love it love the series. But as I've gotten older and, out of the YA demographic, I told myself, like, one day maybe I'll go in and read the series just to say that I have read it. But I never really could justify buying it because it wasn't something that I particularly like really wanted to read, and so therefore I couldn't like justify spending the money on it, but it was free. So now I get to read the first one, and if I like it, then I'll continue with the series. My focus has just been kind of all over the place, and I really like sped through the Red Queen series. I like binged my way through it, so I needed a breather after 4 books of the same story, and then to try and get into another like high fantasy, like crazy world building type of story. You know, like it's not hard to follow along, and I do like where Serpent is going. I like, you know, the lore so far, but I just like, I don't know, it's not keeping me, you know? And it's not the book's fault, it's my brain's. I thought Morning Glory Milking Farm would help me get back into it, but I was just like thinking in my head, I was like, I want to be reading, like I want to be like flipping through the pages of a book and being immersed, but I don't want to be reading this. So I had to move on for now. She's on pause. I will get back to her. But yeah, this whole recording my audio separate from the video is a new thing for me. We will see how the editing process goes. This might be the answer, because I'm sure you've noticed my videos, if anyone watches this other than my boyfriend and my friends and my high school boyfriend, apparently, because I got a push notification. YouTube actually sent me a push notification through my cellular device that he's subscribed to me. But I talk very softly in my videos because talking to a camera and like projecting my voice is just I'm still getting used to it. I'm a very shy person, as I said. I'm also just embarrassed by every single thing that I do. I get embarrassed walking across the parking lot at work, only at work. But it's because like I know customers can see me in their cars and they're thinking to yourself like, oh, that's the girl that works there. That's it. That's not even anything like bad. But I'm so deeply embarrassed by it. I'm like just filled with shame with everything I do. I'm not even Catholic. My dad is, or he was, or he kind of is now. Maybe it's in the blood. Yeah, this vlogging stuff, it's embarrassing for me. I'm trying not to be embarrassed by it. Nobody in my life thinks it's weird. Eventually, I would like to vlog like in public, like going places and shopping and whatnot. But I don't necessarily want to bring my whole camera, because it has a detachable lens, because it's, you know, it's a nice like Sony camera. The picture I have is like my profile picture where I'm taking a like mirror selfie. That's the camera that I used to film. And so it's just it's not bulky necessarily, but it has bulk to it. So I don't feel, it's not natural for me to like hold it up in public and like talk to it or record myself with it. I want to get that little like digicam osmosis fucking you know, the gimbal camera, the like little tiny one. I actually saw like 2 different customers at my job walk in with that camera, and it's like $500. Girl, I need car insurance before I can get that. So Ko-Fi's linked in the description. I feel like I had more to say, but I've also just been sitting here yapping for like 16 minutes? 16 minutes. 17 minutes. Hopefully my next vlog would be a little more interesting. A little more entertaining to watch. But yeah, I do kind of like this wide angle shot because you get to see all my fan arts. All of my like animated men. Well, Leon and Astarion. These 2 are like ship arts. I'm sure you can guess who. And then these are just little postcards I got from a subscription box that I kept. As you can see, I had the subscription box for a long time. And then this little bit of red is Guyon's Peruvian flag. If I ever move out of this place, which, judging by my economical status, as well as the economical status of my roommates, as well as the economical status of America, might not be for a long time. We need a bigger space for the 4 of us. Technically 5, but 4 adults and a baby who will eventually grow. We'll need more than this apartment can offer. It's been fun. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Guyon, Brooke, Nico, only people who subscribe to my channel, and the aforementioned high school ex-boyfriend. Because why not? I'll see you guys in the next one.